Hi there, Mike Perez with Mastering the Young Band. I want to talk today about longevity and staying in this fantastic career of music education, teaching the young band. There are many reasons why I have taught for 26 years. One of them is I've gotten some pretty good just job situations. My first job for 5 years, I was an assistant teacher with a fantastic master teacher. I really tell people I really student taught for 5 years being an assistant. I got to learn as I went, and that really helped me get through those tough first 2 to 3 years of teaching and really gave me confidence and a just big tool belt to use with my kids. The current school that I'm at, I was able to help build this school and grow it. And so I was able to develop my classes and the structures of this to make it a very desirable position, even though I am just a lone wolf band director. You're going to find times where you are feeling burned out and you're going to question and ask yourself, do I want to do this anymore? Well, let me tell you, in my 7th year, this is about my 2nd year in my current location, I was burned out. I was ready to walk away from the profession and do something different. But I kind of went through it. I didn't make any decisions. I'm like, I'm going to try it one more year. And that next year was fantastic. I kind of snapped out of it. I found some other things that kind of fired me up and got me stimulated, if you will, to teach some more. And that's really one of the other reasons how I've taught for so long is I just have an insatiable curiosity. I'm always asking myself, what can I do better? How can I be more efficient to help my kids learn their instruments better and become musicians themselves? Some things that I've done to help me stay curious and to get answers, because it's when you don't get answers and you're not getting better, that's sometimes where you can get into that rut in your career. So some things that I've done is I've brought in master teachers into my school pretty frequently throughout my career. Whether it's an acquaintance, it's maybe somebody in the district. I always try to bring people in to tell me things that I can keep doing better. I had a master teacher from Arizona, Doug Akey. He did my symphonic band camp when I was a young teacher. He came into my current school and did a symphonic band camp. And just watching him work with my kids really gave me so many great ideas, and just to see how a master teacher works with the young band. Years after that, I went and observed some great teachers that are a couple hours away from me. These were some of the top teachers in our state. I asked my principal for professional development money to pay for my substitute in my hotel because it was far enough away that I needed 2 nights of hotel. And my principal said, absolutely, and they used professional development money for me to go observe 2 master teachers. There is nothing like sitting in somebody else's classroom, especially after you've been teaching for a while and you've kind of gotten into your ways of teaching, seeing somebody else approach a class from how do the kids walk in? How do they speak to the kids? How do they start class? How do they handle transitions? How often do they use their metronome? What kind of metronome do they use? Just all of those things. It's just fascinating. A lot of us spend times observing when we're in college, and then it's hard to get out and go do that observation again. So going out and observing, it's going to just give you a fresh perspective. And what's also good about it is sometimes when you're in those observations, you're going to go, hey, I do that. And that's really encouraging for you to go, that I do that same thing. And that's a real gratifying thing about going out and observing. You're, of course, going to see things you don't like. You're going to go, I'm not going to do that. But you're going to see more stuff to go, oh, I'm going to try that, or I'm going to try that. Even little nuggets like, gosh, I've never heard that explained that way. I'm going to add that to my tool belt when explaining to my kids. Having consultants come in to watch you teach all day, it can be a little expensive, but even if it's just once in each school year, again, talk to your principal, go, here's my idea. I want to bring a master teacher in to my classroom to watch me from the beginning of the day to the end of the day, and then we're going to sit down and have dinner or whatever and have a meal, and they're just going to talk to me about things I'm doing well, what I need to keep doing, what are strengths of my program, what are weaknesses, because as we all know, a principal, they can really spot good classroom culture, they can spot good procedures, they can spot behavior management, all of that kind of stuff. But the details of the young band, a principal's not going to be able to tell you, hey, do you know your saxophones are all playing sharp because they're playing with too much embouchure pressure? Do you know that your percussion, when they're playing mallets, are not reading, they're memorizing? All of those little things that you sometimes don't see is why you bring a consultant in. So talk to some local retired band teachers. If you're in an area where you're not sure who to bring in, find out who are some of the local retired teachers that are highly respected and ask them if they'd be willing to come in and consult. Some of them, sometimes the first time they observe, it'll be free. They'll go, hey, first time I'll just come in. I'd love to just let you know. And part of it is a relationship. There's a trust there that you have to build. And it's pretty vulnerable. When you have somebody come in and watch everything that you do, you're gonna be a little bit nervous. You're gonna be a little bit tense. But as the day goes on, you kind of get more natural and you start even forgetting the person's there. Now, that being said, when I bring in my consultants, it's not that they're just in the back writing and not saying anything. I kind of do it like a clinic interactive situation. So I'll be teaching, and sometimes they'll like kind of go, hey, can I say something? Sure. And they'll be talking to the kids, but as you know, they're also talking to me too. So it's a real interactive way of getting feedback. Now, going to conferences is another thing that has helped me stay in this career. Going to my state MEA is one of my favorite things, to just see all of my colleagues, going to clinics. I love that. Of course, going to Midwest Clinic, that kind of thing, has also helped me as well in just keeping excited about this profession. So if you've never gone out and observed somebody, or you haven't for a long time, or if you've never brought a consultant in, those are great ways to just help you grow. And what's neat is they will give you generally enough things to think about that's just going to keep you stimulated and going and keep you curious and growing as a teacher. I think it's when you've stopped growing and when you're stopped curious about things, like when you kind of have a mindset of like, I'm not feeling challenged right now, that's when you kind of get up to that burnout situation. The last thing I'll say is this is a wonderful profession. Before you are considering, if you're considering leaving this profession, ask yourself, is it the profession or is it the situation? Sometimes I see amazing music educators leave our profession, but what it really was they were just in a bad situation. Maybe they've been in two bad situations, and those are hard. They maybe didn't get a realistic or fulfilling taste of what this career can be. So before you walk away, ask yourself, is this really about kids in this profession and the content, or is it the situation I'm in? I need to try, and go somewhere else. So just a couple of things to think about. That's how I've gotten to 26 years here. I'm still fired up. I still love kids. I still love teaching. And it's just all the things I've talked about that have helped me stay in this fantastic profession.